All right, so we have another big day today. Today the market, well, technically the stock market went down. I mean, basically 9 points. It was pretty much dead even, down 0.04%. And even the Nasdaq, which was the best performer of them all, was up 0.43%. But as a whole, we went up 1.18%. And I kind of predicted that. I was thinking, well, all the stuff we talked about last night as far as some of the futures being low and it was actually portending about a 150-point drop for the stock market was due to the pressure that Washington was putting on Beijing. And there were worries about companies moving and what do you want to call it? The supply chain. And I think it was a little bit overblown. But today we still beat the market. We still go up today. And kind of talk about big picture stuff in a second. But overall, I mean, there's really not a whole lot of movement. I mean, typically, well, for a while, Fridays were just death knells. But today it was pretty flat for the most part. Red Rock Resorts went up 9%. And that's our casino sector, which is one that got overbeaten. Braemar Resorts, again, casinos. Redwood Trust is a REIT. That went up 11.5%. And do we have any down ones that we want to look at today? ICAGI, which is the European airline. I guess not too much surprise there. And yeah, everything else. And GNC went up 7%, or all of, 4.5 cents. But again, that's our flyer one that we're looking at. As far as ones that we don't own, pretty darn flat. It's a total mix. Good in either full. What is this one? Is this Full House Resorts? Sometimes you forget the name of these things. I just remember them by their name. Full House Resorts. Yeah, that is right. Okay. So a hotel company, and they do more upscale. They were up 7%. As we go down, is there any others? SSL, which is a oil, gas, and water exploration company, went down 7%. Let's see, any other ones that we're looking at? They're all pretty low for the most part. I'm not counting 5%. That's not big enough. All right, that's about it. So relatively low day. I think generally we're looking big picture for the market. There's just a lot of uncertainty. You have states starting to move forward. Today, Trump came out and basically said the national guidelines was effective immediately and for this weekend that churches would be considered essential businesses, and that he was going to override the states, the governors, if they didn't do it. So we'll see what happens. But, overall, I think the movement is up. We are past the bottom of the market. The only question is how or what the curve will look like. Will it be a very slow one? Will it be parabolic? Or will it just launch up immediately? And when that starts. So again, if you haven't gotten in the market, you don't always have to be at the very bottom of the market. But I would say get in now and figure out what you want to buy. So overall for us the last 3 months, this is kind of where we've had it. We've had our stock go up, down. We've bought more. And it's gone up, it's gone down, we bought more, it's gone up even higher, we've got down, we bought more, and then this is kind of the bottom of the U shape right here, from here to here, and it's just taken off, and I think it's going to go a lot higher than that. So beyond that, let's take a look at our stock screener. So we put in the prices that we looked at before, the final prices for the day, and sorted it by upside. And we don't have a whole lot of change. IVR and MFA. Actually, let's just make sure these are still correct because I just updated these. And again, you can get a link to this document in the video description. All right, so let's... Let's copy those. And we'll sort it. All right, yep, so that's fine. So IVR and MFA, we talked about that yesterday. We're not touching. Really is not a whole lot of change for the most part. So I'm just going to sit on this today, and we want to see some movement one way or the other. If it goes up a lot, that's great. We'll probably buy some more Yuko if that goes up. That's probably the only stock that I have right now that I'll buy more of because it's so far under our cost basis. It's at 23, cost basis at 29, about 30% off. It used to be about 70, so it's moving in the right direction. The other ones, American and United, I have limit sells for those. As soon as those go in the red, probably be a while for American. United will come soon. And then Azul, that's the British airline, that is barely off. So that's going to turn black pretty soon. So we're not going to touch anything. Currently the limit sells we have, or the limit buys we have, are for Velocity and Azul, which are the first two right here. And I have prices that are currently, it's at 810 for Azul. I have a price point of 6.75. So odds are it's not going to buy anytime soon. And Velocity, the same thing. It's at 315. I have it at 270. That one might happen a little sooner. I'm not expecting it to buy soon. If it does, great. If not, then so be it. But again, as we're looking at here, this has been going up. If we look at the last month, it's been on kind of a nice little movement. Last week, it's been on a tear. And overall, if we look at our holdings, we're at 52,000. So we're moving up past the 50,000. We're 12,000 over what we spent. We spent basically about 40,000 total. We've made about 12,000. That's a 30% earnings on that. And then when we include all the stuff that we sold earlier and reinvested, we're at 60%. So, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah. So going into Monday over the weekend, really, we have a few sectors that we're pretty big on. So number one, we have oil. So we'll look at, where is oil? We have Yuko, PVAC, Service Corporation. Those are my oil ones. And those are going to go up. So I'm really not too worried about these. These ones just have nothing but a huge upside. Because the problem has been demand. The government shut everything down, artificially squashed demand, and then as they start kind of releasing people from their shutdown, the demand will go up because we have a bunch of pent-up demand, and then the prices are going to go up as well. We look at the REITs, and from here we have Redwood Trust, Crestwood Equity, Two Harbors, and I think those three. And as you can see here, those numbers are doing really well. The only concern for those were people who didn't pay their mortgages. But as people are going back to work, I think this is less of a concern, and these are going to go up probably in the midterm, probably in a few months. Then the casinos, that ones we looked at, so we're looking at, let's take a look here. Braemar Resorts, Red Rock, El Dorado Resorts, and Every. And these ones are doing really well. These are going to explode a lot faster. I mean, there's been news stories about casinos opening on Indian land and how the lines are crazy. So I don't see that being a problem whatsoever. And then we have the lag stocks. These are going to be the travel stocks. So we look at the airlines right there. And yeah, it looks like the airlines right there. And that's the lagging one. That's the one that's going to take a little bit longer to do. So, but Azul is one of the bigger airlines down in South America. So we'll see. I might sell this when it goes black. I might keep an eye on it. But this is one, if I did do a limit sell, it would probably be this one and add it to the other airlines. And then we have our biotech ones, which are Menlo and Viking. Yep, those two, and those two are kind of in the middle. Those are doing well, but those are kind of, they kind of sit around for a while, but then as soon as they have a drug that passes a phase trial or gets FDA approval, then they skyrocket. And both of them are at 100% buy rating, so I'm not too worried about that. So we'll see what happens over the weekend. If we look at stock indices, again, it's super early. Showing at 0.33. Overall, it's under a point across all these indices. Doesn't really tell us much. I think really what people are trying to get is a sense of hope. So once you have these places open up and you start to see the numbers go down, the hospitalizations, the deaths and all that kind of go down, then people can feel comfortable having their feet under them, and that's when you're going to see some of this take off. So get your orders in, whatever you decide to order, whatever you decide to invest in, get in it now, because you'll never see these prices again. Quite simply, you're never going to see these prices again. So we'll see what this weekend has to say. Oh, and what we'll do is, I actually do like looking at this. So we'll go Dow Futures CNN. Not that I'm a big fan of CNN, but their stock price, their stock page is good. Moderna unveils encouraging corona vaccine results, and execs dump nearly $30 million in stock. Let's take a look at this. All right, and then before we get to that, we don't have anything on here. We never have anything on here on what's moving pre-market for coronavirus. So let us see what these insiders did. Moderna's CFO and CMO executed options, sold nearly $30 million a share. Excited Wall Street. Oh, that might get an investigation. It's weird that you get that kind of good news and you sell that much stock. And usually if they sell stock, it's going to be like an automated thing where they just do a certain amount every month and it's just an automated thing. But if they're doing it there, then yeah, we'll take a look here. Oop. Securities transactions were done through automated insider trading plans. All right, so maybe that's not an investigation. That's exactly what we're talking about. So they file it ahead of time, and that basically kind of is basically telling the SEC that it's not going to be insider trading because they have it automated every so often, and they don't actually have to personally do that. So maybe there's cashing out. I work for a company that did the same thing, so we'll see. But for now, the Dow is barely up, and we'll see what happens over the weekend. That being said, Shabbat Shalom. Have a nice weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on Monday.
To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website. It gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.